What is up, guys? It's Chunky and I'm back with a review of No Man's Sky for the PS4 and PC. Now remember, I played No Man's Sky on the PS4. I've played it for about a week now. If you see my gameplay video with my impressions, you have an idea of how I feel about this game and kind of what it looks like going through, the basic kind of mechanics. That being said, guys, I waited a whole week to do this review because I felt like this game needed a bit more time. It deserved a bit more attention, deserved a bit more analysis, and I feel like after a week, I've put about, let's say, 20 to 25 hours in this game, and I actually have quite a bit to say. Now, let me come out the gate and say that this game was never going to be as good as we expected. The hype was just too much. I don't know if it's Hello Games' fault for letting the hype get out of control, whether it's Sony that controlled the marketing, whether it was revealed too early. There's a lot of kind of variables which can explain why this game had the hype that it did. But at the same time, this game was never going to live up to the hype. For all intents and purposes, this is an indie game, kind of a game that's trying something different. It's made by a small studio. It's made with a necessarily a smaller budget. It's made to be something different compared to the games that we do have. In saying that, guys, I'm going to do this review kind of backwards today. I'm going to start off with the negatives, and then I'm going to kind of go into the positives, because the positives aren't necessarily the mechanics. They're not necessarily the story or even the gameplay. But the overarching theme of this game is something that really resonated with me and really kind of got me interested in what this game had to offer. Now, I feel like this opinion has changed over the course of a week, because when I originally played this game, I didn't really feel like I was going to get into it. If you saw my impressions video, I'm not really one for exploration games like Minecraft, stuff like that. I don't just have the attention span. I prefer a story-driven game that's going to take me through an experience, both through gameplay and through story, something very structured. But I really wanted to give this a try. This game kept calling out to me like it deserved a bit more of a chance. With that being said, guys, let me get started. This game mechanically is not the best at anything. Now, I feel like before I go into all these dot points, I should say, this game takes one step forward in one area and one step back in another area. So it kind of doesn't really go anywhere in the grand scheme of games that we love today. It's kind of something that's going to resonate with some people and it's not going to resonate with others. It's kind of completely in the middle of this gaming market, this gaming trend that we have today. Firstly, guys, the mechanics, they're all plain. You have mining mechanics, shooting rocks and elements and blah, 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 until they break down, so you can collect resources and elements for you to use on things like your inventory, your exosuit, your weapons, your ship, and just helping you get through the galaxy in general. You have the ability to use your mining tool as a gun, and the funny thing is the shooting mechanics aren't great either. They're very twitchy, they're very stiff. It doesn't feel like, a Call of Duty shooter. Not that this is meant to be something of that ilk, but it just doesn't feel great compared to something, that we would consider a shooter. Flying controls, guys. Flying controls on planets, it's very automated. You can't really go low. You couldn't really crash your ship into a planet if you wanted to. It's very guided. The speed kind of handles itself. It's very reminiscent of something that's on rails, even though it's not. It gives you the illusion that you're controlling it, but you can't go a certain altitude without the ship kind of balancing out. You can't really go this fast and this fast. It's just either one speed or another speed, and I kind of didn't really like that. I kind of felt like each planet that I was going to was just an on-rails experience until I would land and then I'd get out on foot. Yeah, so most of these controls are very basic. They're not very innovative. They're not very new. They're just kind of there. They just serve the purpose of being able to do these things. Yeah, so that's kind of where I come from with this game. As well as that, guys, there's 18 quintillion planets. If you're watching this review and you've been staying 4 minutes there, if you've stayed for this long already, you kind of know what's going on with this game anyway. Or if you don't, guys, 18 quintillion planets. The point of this game is to just discover and go to these different planets and just kind of explore different elements and life on planets and fauna and whatever, and just kind of go through this journey that could take you anywhere that you want it to. Planets look somewhat different from each other depending on which kind of system of planets that you're in. Towards the start of the game, I was noticing that planets looked very samey. I got a bit worried, but excuse me, but they do change in pace. They do change in kind of aesthetics. They look different to one another, different enough to kind of keep my curiosity. That's kind of for the negatives. So mechanically and aesthetically, this game isn't anything groundbreaking. It's nothing that we have, seen in those areas. We've seen it before. However, this game is not meant to be that. That's where it comes down to the hype. This game's never going to be as good as the hype suggested. So I kind of started looking at it as what it was presenting to me, and I realized this game does one thing. It gives you everything that you would want as long as you're curious enough to go there. So the option is there. The variety is there if you look hard enough. But then again, most people like their hands to be held at the start, but most people like to be pushed in a certain direction and then branch off and do whatever they want. However, this game doesn't hold your hand from the start. So from the start, you're very overwhelmed. You're trying to look for things to do, and there might be so much to do in theory that you kind of miss it and you get overwhelmed, you get intimidated, and your brain just kind of shuts off. I'm here to say, guys, if you are really curious, if you would just want to do nothing except explore, not because the game wants you to, but because you want to, then this game is really going to shine. Not in the sense that, like I said, the mechanics and then the look of the game is going to shine, more or less what you're doing in this world and the impact that you're making on this world. This game has a lot of special moments. You could just discover a particular animal or a plant or a planet and you naming it and you really making your mark in this world that is supposedly shared. I can't really comment on that. I haven't been able to get online with these fucking servers anyway. But yeah, the fact that you can make a mark in this world, and the mark that you make and the size of the mark is really up to how curious you are. The game does nothing to kind of really motivate you to do these things. It's all up to you. So the game really speaks when it comes from you, not when it comes from the game. So if you want to go out there and explore all these planets, there are things to find. There are some kind of wonderful moments where you're really, exploring a planet for the first time, finding a new animal for the first time, scanning up what this animal is, renaming it, really making it yours. And that's what I'm saying. This game comes from you. Too many people are expecting this game to give them an experience, but for you to go out there and explore what this has to offer is really comes down to the fact that you're making your own experience. So it's very hard to review this game, objectively and say, this is bad, this is good. This game is so subjective. It's probably more subjective than any game that's come before it, just because any experience that you can have with this game is yours. Now, my job as a reviewer is to technically kind of give an objective view on something that is otherwise subjective. So objectively, guys, to get towards wrapping it up, this game is still an okay play. It's nowhere near as bad as some people have talked up to be, and if some people have had experiences that no one else has had, they're going to love it so much more. I feel like looking at both sides of the spectrum, it's still okay in nature. This game is definitely playable, but then again, I've only played 20 hours and I've probably merely chipped at the surface. I just wanted to get through most of what this game has to offer, and I found that other than the mechanics, I feel like I'm giving this game what I feel I need to give. The motivation comes from here, not from the game. I think that's why I've crafted my own experience, and I do like it as much as I do. However, if you don't have that experience, guys, looking at the mechanics alone, the looks alone, it's still okay. It does nothing new in those fronts, but at the end of the day, this game is tailored to your experience. It's tailored to how much you want to give it, not how much it gives you. Now, that does sound quite weird. If you are interested in this game, look at some more gameplay, kind of understand the mechanics first. That will not be your journey. I promise you, you will have a different journey. You will see different planets. You will see different animals. You will discover everything new. Put it that way, guys. I am enjoying this game. I will continue to play it, continue to explore. If I really find anything that I feel I have to add to this review, add to my channel as far as No Man's Sky goes, I'll be putting up more gameplay, definitely. If you haven't seen so already, I'll be meshing gameplay into this review anyway. At the time of recording, I haven't really had it organized. I'm more winging it because I feel like, this experience has come from in here, not what the game has given me. So that's it, guys, from me. Once again, this is Chunky. Have a chunky old day, and may be filled with all the good things life has to offer.